Welcome to this very exciting and long-awaited occasion. My name is Tom Duffy. I'm the chairman of the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission. Today is a special day for everyone here. I know that you all have worked hard for this day for many years, and the time has finally come. And today, Governor Carlson is here to announce funding for the John Rose, Minnesota Oval. This is a tremendous accomplishment for everyone, and let's also applaud all your time and effort that you've put into making this day happen. There are some special guests who are here today. They will not be on the program, but we wouldn't be here if they hadn't worked hard to make this happen, and I'd like to recognize them. First of all, Representative Mary Jo McGuire. Senator John Marty. Representative Phyllis Kahn. Senator Jerry Hughes. A member of the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, Andrea Hart-Kyer. President of the U.S. International Skating Association, Bill Cushman. Former Mayor of Shoreview, Dick Waddell. And wife of the late John Rose, Marilyn Rose Samp. At this time, I would like to introduce Joanne Cushman, member of the Roseville City Council and acting mayor.
Thank you. As acting mayor, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to the city of Roseville. Our mayor, Vern Johnson, who strongly supports this facility, wanted very much to be here, but unfortunately he is out of town. At this time, I would like to introduce the other Roseville council members, Pat Johnson, Dean Mashka, and Brenda Thomas. For over 2 decades, Roseville has had a unique involvement with speed skating. In 1970, 22 years ago, Bill Cushman, coach of Midway Speed Skating Club, came to Roseville looking for land on which to flood a track. Frank Rogg, then director of Parks and Recreation, found some land in Central Park, and the Roseville City Council agreed to let Midway use the land if they would clean it and flood it. In 1972, the speed skaters built a warming house on that site, and Tom McPartland began the Roseville Novice Speed Skating Program. It has taught thousands of children how to skate and compete. In 1982, the Metropolitan Council, after a metro-wide poll, showed a willingness to fund, invited proposals for an artificially refrigerated speed skating rink. Roseville was immediately interested. In 1984, 8 years ago, June Demas, then mayor of Roseville, and the city council appointed the first Roseville Ad Hoc Speed Skating Committee, chaired by John Gedeke. The proposal that this committee came up with was chosen by the Met Council as the best of several submitted by communities around the Twin Cities. This proposal was then submitted to the state legislature. In 1986, the proposal was resubmitted as part of a bonding bill, and John Rose again carried our legislation. In 1987, the Roseville City Council submitted this proposal to the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission. That commission endorsed the facility, but it did not make it out of committee. In 1988, 4 years ago, the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission asked Roseville to resubmit the request, and John Rose again carried the legislation. In 1990, Mary Jo McGuire took over the legislation after John Rose's untimely death. It was renamed the John Rose Memorial Oval. Again in 1992, the Never Give Up team of the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, our legislative representatives, the City of Roseville and our fine staff, and the speed skating enthusiasts from around the state worked for this proposal. And this time, just last week, our dream came true. Thank you, Governor Carlson, for your support in making this possible. Thanks to each and every one of you who has worked for this day. For over 20 years, Roseville has had a unique relationship with speed skating. With this multi-purpose track, Roseville looks forward to providing even more recreational opportunities to the girls and boys of our community, our state, and our country. We look forward to those skating blades hitting the ice.
Speed skating in Minnesota is a tradition, and Minnesota speed skaters have consistently brought the medals home, just as Amy Peterson did in the last Winter Olympics. But the sacrifices that we've asked our athletes to endure were too great. Time out of school and the expense of traveling to any one of our 3 U.S. tracks in order to train created hardship for many. But the real crime was that our skaters were forced to leave their families behind. And with their departure, Minnesota lost much needed role models for our youth. Thanks to Governor Carlson, the John Rose Oval will change all that. My experience as a speed skater and coach has shown me that the sport of speed skating is truly unique. All abilities from the recreational skater to those with dreams of Olympic competition are able to participate. And the sport provides equal opportunity for men and women, young and old. The speed skating program is also crime prevention at its best. As a DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education police officer teaching the DARE program in elementary schools of Plymouth, I know that building self-esteem, keeping the family together, having positive nonviolent role models, and providing fun and exciting alternatives help to keep kids off drugs. I am witness to the fact that the sport of speed skating provides all of the above benefits and more. Minnesota is truly back on track. Now we have a lot of special guests today. A lot of former Olympians are here. I'd like to name off some of those. Today we have Carrie Fisher here, John Baskfield, his wife is here, John couldn't make it, Rhonda, Floyd Bedbury, Kim Kostrom, Amy Peterson, Tom Cushman, Art Seaman, and Gene Sandvig. All former Olympians are here today. We also have 2 Hall of Fame members, Diane Wynn and Michelle Conroy. And we have a lot of national team members, national speed skating team members who are also here. Scott Running, Mark Bassfield, Tammy Todora, Susan Sandvig, Ann Hills, Leanna Lindgren, Keith and Heather Haster, Lynn Weaver, John Albrecht, Randy Bartz, Rick Swanson, Scott Clausen, Beck Farr, Lynn Peterson, Julie Birch, Paula and Nancy Klass, Paul, Tom, and Bruce Granis, Andy Zach, John Dorff, and Ann Schugel. Let's have a hand for all those people who... All those people have succeeded despite the great odds.
The eventual completion of a speed skating oval at this location will obviously make a significant contribution towards the development of skaters in the area and certainly in the state of Minnesota. Its impact will almost be immediate for those skaters who have already set their sights on becoming national or Olympic skaters. Some of them are probably standing right behind me now. For these individuals, it will mean that they can develop and perfect their skating skills and talents while remaining at home, attending their own schools, with the support of their friends and their family and acquaintances. For these skaters, it means not having to travel the hundreds of miles for training opportunities and having to give up their schooling years in a quest of fulfilling an aspiration or achievement to excel. There are those who've had to do this, just as some of those individuals that are with us today that you've just heard mentioned. But how many skaters could not or were not able to make such a sacrifice? How many possible champions have had to remain at home, not being able to pursue that desire because of the miles and the loss to the family and to their own educational development? This facility will mean the opportunity for hundreds of development of those children in a sport where the limits are not set, where each individual best is a measurement of personal success and personal achievement, a sport where success is obtainable for each who tries, where growth and personal fulfillment is achievable without the need or the reliance on other team members. So Governor Carlson, what will be achieved here in Roseville is more than a speed skating oval and more than a training facility for those on a quest to fill a dream. It's a facility where personal growth, physical and emotional development, and a sense of personal satisfaction and achievement is obtainable by each recreational skater as well as the professional skater. We look forward to all those who skate of different abilities and those becoming true winners.
But as you know, the John Rose Minnesota Oval is a multi-purpose facility. Included in this project is a world-class bandy facility. And with us today is past president of the American Bandy Association, Bob Coteen, who will tell us what this means to the sport of bandy. Bob.
Thank you, Tom. Governor Carlson. In 1976, I introduced the sport of bandy into the United States. This is an alternative sport to soccer that's played on ice in the wintertime. The sport is old, goes back to the 1050, but yet in the Scandinavian and the then Soviet Union, this is a great sport that's been played on ice for many, many years. The stroke of bandy, the stroke of speed skating are similar. As you'll see, the long in-roller skates out here, the inline skaters using the track. I found in the early 80s that the Scandinavians and the Soviet Unions were using one facility for both sports. So I felt this was a marriage that we should have, bandy and speed skating in the great state of Minnesota. So from that time on, the bandy people of Minnesota have been working with the speed skating, and the reality is here today. I thank you very much for having the opportunity to be included in this multi-purpose facility, and all the bandy players and the boys and girls that participate in the sport. They are going to look forward to this rink out here at to the west as a great facility for their sport. Thank you.
Well, we've heard what this facility is going to mean to our young people, but what does it mean to having this facility in Roseville and in Minnesota from an economic standpoint? And our next speaker is the chair of the Suburban Area Chamber of Commerce, Sally Olson.
Thank you all. As a representative of the Suburban Area Chamber of Commerce, I am thrilled at the announcement that the John Rose Minnesota Oval will be constructed in Roseville. Did we ever doubt? We know that this unique facility will have a positive impact on our economy that's already in the making with the announcement of national and international events. We look forward to welcoming visitors from around the world as a result of this facility, opening opportunities for worldwide business and friendship. Finally, I congratulate and thank those who had the insight and the foresight to conceive this project and dedicated years to its development, and those, Governor and others, who recognized its value and are enabling finally the fruition of the John Rose Minnesota Oval in Roseville. Thank you.
Next, I'm going to ask an individual who also worked very hard on this. He worked with the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, he worked with the legislature, and he's an integral part of today's events. I'd like to ask Governor Arne Carlson to step forward. Governor Carlson is going to say a few words, but before he does, there are several very special Minnesota athletes here today who would like to make a short presentation to you, Governor Carlson. And the first of those are Minnesota Olympic speed skaters Amy Peterson and Tom Cushman.
Governor Carlson, City of Roseville, it's my pleasure to present you with the 1994 National Speed Skating Championships.
Hey.
Well done, well done. That's great. That's good news.
And next I would like to introduce bandy athletes Chris Middlebrook and Kendra Swanson.
Amy, I think you wanted Amy.
Oh, is Amy going to...
I just wanted to give him this.
Please do. Is that all you want to do? Go ahead.
Well, on behalf of all past Olympians and Minnesota Olympic hopefuls, we'd like to present you with this.
Oh, that's just gorgeous, really.
Now I would like to introduce bandy athletes Chris Middlebrook and Kendra Swanson.
Governor, this is a great thing for bandy players, not only the world, not only the United States, but Minnesota, of course, men, women, and children. And on behalf of World Bandy, U.S. Bandy, but most particularly Minnesota Bandy, I am really proud to announce that the 95 Bandy World Championships will be held at the John Rose Minnesota Oval.
bandy players in the United States of America, and especially here in Minnesota. We'd like to present you with this official bandy stick made right here in Minnesota,
Really?
and an official bandy ball.
Gosh. You're wonderful. I'm going to come to Roseville more often. Now, this is marvelous. Let me, if I may, just make a couple of random comments and thank you all. We're absolutely delighted to have both championships come to Minnesota. It really is an extraordinary day in that sense. I've always felt that I owed John Rose a few votes. We served in the legislature together, and I can assure you, many were the time when he had to cast some votes for some of my bad bills. And I can't think of anything more appropriate than to name the arena after John. I think that's a well-deserved honor for an outstanding legislator, and I thank you for doing it. I do very much want to thank Mary Jo McGuire and Jerry Hughes for carrying the legislation. You took on a tremendous mission. It's very tough, frankly, to sell a project to the state as a whole, because no matter where you locate it, that means it's not located elsewhere. And usually elsewhere tends to have more votes. So you did a good job. I appreciate that. And the one that really deserves an enormous amount of credit for building facilities that are really beneficial and help us broaden our concept of the quality of life is Representative Phyllis Kahn. Well done. Now, let me just say this. In 1948, I had the pleasure of living over in Sweden and was accidentally introduced to bandy when I tripped over one of the balls. This is a true story. No, this is very true. It actually saved my life. I mean, a lot of people have tried to sell me on the arena on the basis of speed skating. Well, I've never had any experience in speed skating. But bandy is what did it. My brother had come to Sweden before me, and as younger brothers are prone to do, they like to brag about the athletic prowess of somebody older, so he had portrayed me as this all-American great track star, which I clearly was not. And so when I arrived, I had spent 10 days on the boat. And if you ever spend 10 days on an ocean liner, you realize your legs are like rubber when you get off. So I no sooner got off and arrived at the school, and the whole school was out there to watch me run track. This is right, and they wanted to set up a 100 meters race, and I kept trying to proclaim in my broken Swedish that I really could not run. Nobody would believe me. I finally had to run. I stumbled 6 times. I never even got to the finish line. I was in absolute state of disgrace. And then this bandy ball came over. And I took it and I threw it. And there's nothing quite like a 14-year-old American to throw a ball. So I threw it like an American boy does. They were absolutely aghast. Over there, they used to throw like this. That's right. And so they all thought I was strong. And so they had immediately forgotten about what a terrible track person I was, and now they were impressed with the ability to throw the ball. And it really is. You're going to enjoy the sport of bandy. It's going to catch on, and there's no doubt that within several years, I think it's going to become an Olympic sport. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. Now, this is a remarkable arena. One of your speakers, Greg Oley, had commented on something that I think warrants some repetition. We're talking about this facility in the context of the Olympics, and that's wonderful. We would like nothing more than one of our young people to grow up to come back, as Amy has, with a silver medal. That's an extraordinary honor. I mean, just the opportunity to represent your country in the Olympics is absolutely exceptional. But the truth is, we build facilities for all of our children. I mean, just think of the children behind us. If they lived in New York, or if they lived in Chicago or Los Angeles, they would literally have no facilities whatsoever. Minnesota is extraordinary in a lot of respects, and one is the enormous opportunities we give to all people to participate in a whole variety of activities. Sports is not the least. That allows us all to demonstrate at least some degree of competency in something. And so I think this arena is going to be packed day and night. I think we're going to find it that really is truly a statewide facility. But more than anything else, and I know John would like it that way, I truly hope that we always dedicate it to our young people. I think that would be a good thing to do. Thank you ever so much.
Governor Carlson, thank you very much. And Olympic athletes, thank you very much. Just as a point of information for everyone, the fact that these two events have been awarded to Minnesota and the John Rose Minnesota Oval each has an economic impact of over $1 million. So we're on the right road there also. Now, Governor Carlson, we'd like to ask you to do the honors and cut the ribbon to symbolize the official funding of this new facility. Joanne Cushman from the City of Roseville and I will hold the ribbon to symbolize the cooperative effort between the City of Roseville and the state of Minnesota.
Come on. Are we set? You ready? What? Are you all set? Are we ready? Get set, go! Yeah!